Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Fabian Calvo, founder and president of the Node House and creator of the Resourceful Real Estate Academy. And a question that I'm asked all the time, is the housing market turning around? Is it a good time for investors to jump back into the market? You know, back in August, Warren Buffett caused a lot of commotion when he said, and he's supposed to be the oracle, he came out and he said it's a great time to get back into real estate as an asset class, as an investment, and he specifically is investing in mortgage loans and mortgage notes, something that the Node House frequently does, and as well as REOs. And not only just Warren Buffett, but I can tell you the money pouring into real estate right now from the big hedge funds, from big private equity firms, big multinationals, is pretty significant. In fact, almost in every major market, we see that taking place. But I want to speak directly to a few reasons we're seeing asset prices increase, what that means to you as an investor, and how long will it last, and is it a good time to jump in? Now, I personally think it is a good time to jump in. We see the stock market today at over 14,000. Many people think that's a sign of recovery. I don't. I think it's more so the inflation at the hands of the Federal Reserve. And when we talk about real estate investing, we need to understand what are the factors that are driving the market. In this case, it's government stimulus, government agencies, and the Federal Reserve, and the massive amounts of money that they're printing. Now, let's start with the federal agencies. Nearly a third of all new mortgage applications that were issued by Fannie Mae or FHA, they were 100% loan to value, or there was only like a 3% down payment. So we're back to the days where people are buying homes with a 3% down payment or no down payment. So clearly, the government is just bent on reinflating the bubble. Now, I was interviewed yesterday on Wall Street for Main Street podcast, and they were asking me, will the market recover to how it was, 3 or 4 years ago? And, my answer to that is there's no telling. If Bernake is going to up the mortgage-backed security purchases from the now 45 billion to 100 billion or to 75 billion. Who knows? Yes, could he begin to flood the market with cheap money, and basically the millennial generation, which is 12% larger than the baby boom generation, they start getting loans to go out and buy homes, and there's a tremendous demand coupled with the inventory that is being held back by the big banks and by some of these government agencies as well, then yes, you could see asset prices begin to increase dramatically. But just with Bernake's buying the mortgage-backed securities, just with the FHA and the cheap money that they're pumping back into the system, that is one of the reasons you're seeing housing begin to stabilize and go up. And also home construction has been going up, but it's still extremely depressed compared to where it was back in 04, 05, and 06. So for investors, what do you need to know? Well, again, you need to know what are the factors driving the housing recovery. In this case, it's government manipulation. Yes, there's a lot of money, big money coming in, but it's also a lot of the big money is from the Fed, created money out of thin air. So how long will this last? Well, it's my opinion, and when we forecast here at the Node House, that the government is doing everything it can to start a recovery. Based on fourth quarter GDP, which showed the economy was contracting, much of it due to government or military spending, it's still an indication that they are going to do everything they can to continue to fuel this economy with artificial money, created money, and they're going to try to reinflate the housing market because they understand that that is a very significant component of the overall economy, all the different jobs that are tied to it. We also have the jobs number that came out today. Unemployment rates at 7.9%, but the labor pool is shrinking. More people without work, and that's not really a good sign either. So my opinion is that the Fed will continue to print money at an unprecedented level. It will fuel asset prices, will continue to rise. You'll see investors keep going in, but at some point, the more money they print, the bigger the bubble, the bigger the crash. When you have that type of crash, when you have interest rates begin to increase rapidly, you're going to see a big drop in real estate prices. In fact, people that are even buying at today's levels, if they're thinking they're going to hold long term and they're thinking they're buying at the bottom right now, I would double think that strategy, because when interest rates go to 7 or 8 or 9%, which eventually they will have to, or we will have a full-blown currency crisis, or we'll have the currency crisis and then interest rates going to 7, 8, 9, 10%, you're going to see housing prices really fall dramatically. I think we have about a 3-year window for that. I think in that 3-year window, there is tremendous opportunity for investors. And the last point I'd make is, in any cycle, if interest rates are at 10, if they're at 15, there's always money to be made in real estate in an up or down market, as long as you're deploying the right principles, the right strategies, and the right tactics. Hope this helps you out. I'm Fabian Calvo. Thanks for watching. Check out the notehouse.us. You can subscribe to the newsletter if you haven't already. And until then, go out and be a great investor and be of service as you're investing in your community.